So we just got some breaking MCU news that I think is not only really positive, but an extremely good, I think, change in direction that not a lot of people expected them to do. And for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about right now, and I guess didn't read the title, which I mean, fair enough, you just want to click on this and see my sexy face speak, like, shit, why wouldn't you, right? There has been a couple of different news outlets here and there talking about some, potential leaks, some theories about what is going to be going on with the new Fantastic Four movie, which is expected to come out in 2025, which we do know has the luxurious, sexy Pedro Pascal in it, of course. And again, not only is this, I think this movie kind of started off with a lot of people scared, but I think what's going on right now is, as more and more, I think, comes out about this movie, I think it's starting to give people hope. And there's one thing that recently got confirmed that I know damn well I'm really excited about, and I think is a really good idea, and that is actually the report that Fantastic Four will take place in an alternate universe. This is, of course, being reported by a couple of different people, most notably Daniel RPK, and I just think this is absolutely a fantastic idea. We do know, and have known for a bit right now, there have been reports saying that the MCU will have a little bit of like a soft reboot, I think, after, of course, Avengers Secret Wars, does happen. And I think what that technically means is that characters like the Fantastic Four, who might have like some, I think, continuity issues if they were to like be introduced now into the universe that we, of course, do know all, like, pretty much the MCU movies have been in, it would kind of cause a little bit of an issue, because you'd introduce this Fantastic Four team that really should have been heard from the start. Considering this movie is supposed to take place in the 60s, they should have at least been kind of, I think, heard from, like, by now. But instead, we really haven't heard of anything of them in the MCU, other than, of course, Doctor Strange, I think, mentioning them, like, in the second movie, where we, of course, know not only did they get a mention, but we saw Mr. Fantastic, aka Reed Richards, kind of appear, right? Where I think they're going to be taking this with this, like, alternative universe is essentially this will save them from creating plot holes, continuity issues with not only characters like the Fantastic Four, but obviously the X-Men and Wolverine, etc., right? When those movies eventually happen, I'm imagining they will take place in the same universe that this Fantastic Four movie will, of course, take place. That way, we won't have a bunch of people being like, well, where were the Fantastic Four? Where were the X-Men? Where was Logan when Thanos was, like, slapping everyone in the face with his big purple cock, right? That's essentially what everyone is going to be asking. And again, not only do I think this is a fantastic idea for them to, of course, introduce this new universe that's going to have the Fantastic Four and most likely, I think, X-Men probably in it, but it also makes sense with this supposed to be massive, like, multiversal saga that we are in. Doing this really actually gives the Multiverse Saga name a purpose, because as of late, the only multiversal stuff we've really had was the Doctor Strange movie, the Loki show, and the Spider-Man movie, right? Other than that, even if they did do a couple other things, no one cared or really decided to watch that shit, right? And that's been a massive issue with the MCU for quite a while now. Doing this does give this multiversal saga another purpose as well. And not only does it, again, introduce the more multiverse, different universe kind of things in the story, but as I said, it fixes problems such as continuity issues and people asking the question of where the fuck have the Fantastic Four and where the fuck have the X-Men been this whole entire time, right? The other thing that I think this sets up a massive opportunity for, not only on the multiversal end as well, but it also, I think, sets up an opportunity to introduce us to new characters that we not necessarily haven't seen, but haven't seen enough of. The big character I'm talking about is the Hulk. You guys would know I have been incredibly vocal on this channel about how not only I believe Mark Ruffalo really hasn't been a good Hulk, not necessarily due to his acting skills, but more so, well, yeah, maybe some acting skills involved. I didn't think he was good from the Hulk, really, other than the first Avengers movie. But he aged very quick. They didn't have any, like, Hulk movies or really products come out other than, like, Thor Ragnarok and She-Hulk. And She-Hulk was an absolute disaster. Other than that, we've only seen this man in Avengers movies. I think this is a huge possibility now that they're introducing the Fantastic Four in this own universe, and most likely the X-Men in this universe, to have a new Hulk. And you might be thinking, well, won't people be confused that Mark Ruffalo is not Hulk and all of this type of stuff? And my answer is no. No one will be confused. And do you know why no one will be confused? Because the last time 90% of Marvel MCU fans saw the Hulk was in Avengers Endgame, which came out in 2019. Most Marvel and MCU fans did not watch She-Hulk. I got a lot of friends who are Marvel fans, right? None of them have seen She-Hulk, and the only ones who have saw about an episode and wanted to jump off the biggest bridge they could possibly find. Doing this with Hulk makes a ton of sense, and we could have a new actor, which could lead to a new trilogy, obviously, hopefully, of movies, considering we have no Hulk movies. I know there's an issue with, I believe, Universal, I think, and the licensing on that, but I've heard that's been sorted out a bit more recently, especially with She-Hulk obviously becoming a thing. And there's rumors a World War Hulk is coming too, which I'll be making a separate video on that, I think. It's a good idea. So this Fantastic Four thing, it opens up a lot of, like, possibilities that I think a lot of people are really, really going to enjoy. Not just that, we get to go back to the 60s. It doesn't do anything to the franchise. So people are like, well, why weren't they in the first Avengers movie and stuff like that? Like, where has Reed Richards been, right? I also think, considering this movie is set in the 60s that we know of, they have a perfect opportunity now to bring this 60s team into Avengers Secret Wars, where, of course, the idea of Secret Wars is bringing all these characters together. You can then bring this 60s team into this Secret Wars movie, I guess, without having to explain, like, why they didn't get older. Because if this movie was in the same universe as the other one, people who are going to watch Secret Wars are going to be like, well, how come they're not, like, 120 years old or dead? Because obviously they should be, because those movies take place in, like, 2020, you know, like our year, right? How are you going to have a 1960s team appear in Secret Wars, considering they should be like 120 or dead, you know? But with this different universe, they can just say, well, no, that universe is still in the 60s, or they were just transported directly from that time and that moment into Avengers Secret Wars. Like, that's just my theory. I think that also explains a ton and fixes a lot of plot issues with how Secret Wars will go. And yeah, this opens up a lot of opportunities. Not only could we see a X-Men and Wolverine in this universe, but I think the Hulk is the obvious one. Maybe a Miles Morales. Maybe Miles Morales is the Spider-Man of this universe. We know a Miles Morales movie is supposed to be coming. There is a ton of different things they can do, and I don't think it confuses people really at all. Again, most people who don't follow it closely probably aren't even going to pay attention that it's in a different universe, and I don't think it will create that many issues, because those people who are not paying attention to it being in a different universe probably aren't going to be asking why they weren't in the last couple Avengers movies, because I guess they just don't care or whatever, right? But for the fans who actually really like this, which is, there's still a breed of people out there, don't get me wrong, I'm one of them. this makes a ton of sense to have this in a different universe. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you guys think having Fantastic Four in a different universe is a good idea? Do you guys think the X-Men will appear in the same universe? Will a new Hulk? I'd very much like to know. Obviously, a new actor should hopefully play the Hulk from this point forward. I'd very much like to know your thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.